Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. What's the first thing you would think of if, when you're buying a house, the person that's selling you the house just wants to get it done so badly that they sign the papers before you do and get out of the country? This one's from user Ashen Necromancer. 10 armed cops showed up at my door. For a bit of context, my husband and I bought a house last month. The owners were in a pretty big rush to get out, but my realtor explained that the house had been on the market 3 times. Twice, it fell through. The old owners were moving out of the country as the woman had gotten a job in the UK and her father was ill. She signed the papers a week before we signed. According to my realtor, her father took a very hard turn and was on his deathbed, so she needed to get out before he passed. This all happened last Sunday. I was getting ready for work when there was a knock at the door. My husband and I weren't expecting anyone, but I ran downstairs and answered the door. Standing there was one cop on my porch, standing out of view of our video doorbell. Around the corner of the porch were 4 more cops, hands on guns. Poking out from behind the gate to my backyard were another 5 cops, hands on guns. Needless to say, I was scared crapless. The cop at the door started asking questions regarding the old owner of the house. The conversation went something like this. Side note, I'm going to try to emulate a 2-person conversation by using 2 different voices. Good afternoon, ma'am. Is the old owner here? Oh, no, she's not here. Do you know when she will be back? Oh, no, she's not coming back. She doesn't live here anymore. And what is your relationship to old owner? None. I just bought the house from her. That's all. How long have you been here? About a month or 2, back in the beginning of July. Do you know where the old owner went to? No, not really. I believe she left for the UK, but I don't know for sure. Alright, well, sorry for bothering you, ma'am. Have a nice day. I still had my video feed up from the doorbell and I just heard the cop go, "She's fled the country." The cops stuck around for about half an hour before they all left. I have no idea why the cops were looking for the old owner, and I have no idea if they will be back. I am not sure what to do at this point. If I just leave it alone or what? I'm confused and concerned. A bit of note. We have security cameras installed. I think the cops knew about those prior to coming. There was an undercover officer present, and the cops knew where to hide in the blind spots of the cameras. They came through our neighbor's yard behind a big pine tree. The cameras picked them up as they were moving in front of our cars, but then they hid behind the blind spots. So, what do you guys think about the sale now? The cops were looking for the previous owner and OP got freaked out. This was a 10 police officer operation, 5 in the backyard, 4 in the front. So they really didn't want whoever they were looking for to run away. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And in the meantime, let's go on for the community comments to see what they think about this whole thing. PM me your man boobs says, "Can you check the clerk of courts for any violations against the previous owners?" OP responds, "I have checked the public records online and didn't find anything of note. A couple traffic violations from 8 years ago, fines for missing court dates that were paid off, and then a charge for not having her dog registered or vaccinated for rabies. But that charge was also paid off. But I think I'll give the clerk a call tomorrow and see if there's anything recent. Thanks for the advice." Karen Eiffel says, "Perhaps Google the old owner's name and see what comes up. There are lots of public records out there, and if she's in this much crap, I'd bet there's a clue there." OP responds, "I checked the public records, but didn't find anything really. Nothing out of the ordinary, at least. Googling her name is a bit difficult as well, as she shares a name with another woman who was charged with murder in 1999 and had a movie and a few documentaries made about her." To Kaluba Fak 40Z says, "You were lucky. In some cases, they just kick your door down and start shooting. They don't even have to pay for the damage." OP responds, "It's sad, but true. And it hurts to think about that too. I have a young puppy who barks at people at the door because he just gets real excited. I know if they did barge in, they probably would have shot him. Okay, so there's a little bit more information about the previous owner of the house. From what OP tells us, whatever came up against her was paid for, and like the biggest thing was that she didn't have her dog registered or vaccinated for rabies, and that was it. So up to now we know that the owner of the house really wanted to sell the house, and the sale did fall through twice. Then she was able to sell it to OP and got out of the country as soon as she could, or at least that's the story. Then, a month later or something, 10 cops show up at OP's door asking questions about the old owner, but they were gun ready, so there was definitely something going on. What do you think that could be? What could have that old owner done that there were 10 cops looking for her at her door? Well, that's the same question that OP and her husband are asking themselves, so let's move on to the update to see what else they found out and what theories they have. Hello RBI, I apologize for a late update. I wanted to take the time to allow for my emotions to cool and collect as much information as I could on the situation. Nothing is definitive at this point, and there are speculations about the situation, but I believe I have come up to the answers that make sense, at least to me. I met my neighbor last week, as her package was sent to my house instead of hers. We started talking, and it turns out she was the original buyer for my house, but backed out at the last minute before the contract was finalized. She told me that basically everything my realtor had told us were lies. We were told that my neighbor went no contact for no reason and just bailed on the contract. However, her reason for backing out was due to modifications the owners had made to the house. There is a strange structure in our garage we assumed had been used to hang sporting equipment or things of that sort. However, we now believe it was used as a growing operation for pot, which is currently illegal in my state. When my neighbor was looking at the house, she has video of her going into the garage, and there was a box fan strapped to the roof above the structure, as well as lights in that area. Up in the structure, trusses and the support beams for the roof had been modified and cut in order to accommodate the lights. There is also a hookup for water in the garage, which seemed rather strange. The owners tried to claim that was left over from the original owner of the house, but I am not sure if I can believe that. Why would they leave it up for 12 years if it wasn't being used? My neighbor was looking at the house back in March, and from what she said, the family was living in a hotel at the time, yet all of their furniture was still there. Beds were still set up, and there was an air mattress laid out on the garage floor. Neither of us understood why they were living in a hotel rather than in their own home with all of their furniture. However, if the law was after them, it could make sense. The garage being a growing operation also accounts for our janky electric. It has since been repaired, but during the job, the electrician had mentioned that a lot of the power was being diverted to the garage. My husband had to awkwardly explain our theories. In any case, much of the damages to the house because of the grow operation was never disclosed to us. Lawyers have been contacted and were seeking legal action against the realty company. We have been advised it might not be a good idea to go after the old owners, as they may no longer be in the country, and as they have sold most of their stuff, there are no assets we could go after. I'd still love to give the old owners a piece of my mind, as they have been nothing but shady the whole time we were buying. And I am still salty over something they did the day we bought the house. Again, a lot of this stuff is speculation, but these are the answers that make the most sense at the time. So, what do you guys think about OP's theories? Do you think this could be a grow operation? From what OP is telling us, it sounds that it could be very, very likely that this is what really happened. Now, unfortunately, we can't know. But it doesn't seem so far-fetched. They had the water intake, they had the fan in the ceiling, they had special fittings for the lights. So, yeah, it does sound like a grow operation. I'm sure you have a few questions, and so did the community. So let's go again to see what the community had to say and see if we get some more information from OP. Psych Shaman 420 says, "Go for the company, definitely, and try to get compensation for the damages. However, don't go after any prior residents for growing cannabis. OP responds, "We have no intentions of going after the old owners for the pot. We just want the money for the repairs is all, and are upset that the damages weren't disclosed. We wouldn't have bought the house if we had known." Fent over Oxy all day says, "Is there any way you could take a picture of this structure in your garage and upload it to Imgur and post a link on here? Only reason I ask is because I'm very curious as to what this structure looks like and how big it is to be able to stop you from using your garage as a, well, garage." OP responds, "I can see about getting a pic of it, but no promises. As for reference in size, our garage is a 2-door garage and pretty massive. In the space between the 2 doors, about halfway back, is a large cinder block support beam that holds up the structure, and also makes it super inconvenient to open the passenger side of my car. The structure rests on the cinder block beam and goes to the back of the garage into the attic." Screw IKEA says, "There are several places that things should have been flagged. The seller's disclosure and your inspector should have both caught a lot of things. Please report back, unless the realty company was somehow doing more than brokering the sale. I'm curious what their liability is. They are specifically not supposed to get in the middle of the seller's disclosure. Liability reasons, I assume. And even the title company has insurance to cover some things." OP responds, "So, the issue with going after the sellers is that there is no way to serve and collect. To my knowledge, they have left the country. The realty company, though, was aware of all the issues with the house, and we have documentation of it." And that is it. That is all the information we have on this particular RBI post. So now the only question I have is, what do you guys think is going on here? Let me know in the comment section. And so we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope you guys liked it. If you did, go ahead and click like. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and click that bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. Also, here are more videos from my channel that you might enjoy. And having said all that, I will see you guys on the next video.